Good morning, Trump's family. Welcome back to my channel. Have a good day, everyone, and God bless you. Alright, the following is a collection of news from Patriots. Let's get into the news. Rhino hunting season is officially underway as President Trump is making rounds across the country, making sure that he turns up the vote for people who are going against these rhinos, people like our favorite Liz Cheney, who continues to struggle in her primary where she's down by over 30 points. And it looks like she is about to lose that primary here in a few weeks. Even news media are now saying that she doesn't have a chance in retaining her seat. And the next person on the list, of course, is Lisa Murkowski. The senator out of Alaska, and Alaska is to read to continue to have a rhino like Lisa Murkowski representing them in the Senate, and hopefully, the Senate. Primary challenger to Lisa Browski will win that seat. And her name is Kelly Toshiba. And she has been endorsed by President Trump. So the amount of support that was shown to President Trump and all of the candidates currently running for the America First ticket out there in Alaska was huge. And we'll take a look at that in just a moment. So let's get to take a look at what we have going on over here. You know, right now, Lisa Murkowski's biggest ultra-MAGA nightmare just came through in Alaska. President Trump over the weekend went to Alaska to rally for those candidates. People like Sarah Palin, Kelly Toshiba, who are rallying against these rhinos who are in Alaska. For whatever reason, I guess they have never had a real challenger to go against him. So it's been easy for these rhinos to continue to cruise to victory in Alaska. People deserve better than that. And the crowds that came out to support Trump, to support people like Kelly Toshiba and of course, Sarah Palin, are huge and should have sent shockwaves in the campaign for Lisa Murkowski. It's going to get ugly for them. So let's take a look at some of the stuff that we saw out there. This is part of the rally here. Of all these people that were lined up ready to go to come see President Trump. First ever rally in Alaska. Then you have this picture here. Check that out. Huge crowd. This should send shockwaves for the Lisa Murkowski campaign. And of course, here's some more pictures here. Just how big that crowd was in Alaska, as they were coming out to support these non-rhino candidates, as President Trump has visited the state and has provided that rally. Lisa Murkowski should be absolutely terrified because what's pulling will come out. I won't be surprised if she's down by large numbers, like Liz Cheney is in Wyoming. So continue to watch this primary over here in Alaska. If you guys are out in Alaska, let me know in the comments down below. Is there a true energy in order to expel lists or Lisa Murkowski out of the Senate there in Alaska? And one thing I keep seeing over and over again are a bunch of leftist Twitter bots. Or maybe they're not literal robots, but close enough closest humans can get to non-sentient beings. But I keep seeing all of these coping Twitter left boys try to counter the current narrative that even Democrats don't support Joe Biden, to keep saying, well, we're gonna vote for him. We're going to show up. It's all just fake news. They tell you he's actually incredibly popular as they post a bunch of selective stats like all the jobs, numbers and all the other garbage, claiming the economy has never been better as markets continue to tank and we haven't even seen the market sell off yet. But that left-boyd narrative that actually Joe Biden is still very popular and the Democrats are still behind him. Well, it's exactly that, it's a narrative, phony narrative. It's how can we say this divorced from reality? The reality is not only are Democrat voters discontent with sleepy, creepy Joe Biden, the Democratic voters are pissed, furious, real angry. They are completely fed up with this guy. And I know this because those that aren't coping on Twitter are saying it themselves. You can't shove your head in the sand. Coping, vote blue no matter who. Left boyd's reality is reality. Let me show you guys exactly what I'm talking about as Democratic voters continue to reject Democrat President Joe Biden. We've got some stuff to get into. So let's roll the tape. Alright folks, take a look at this headline right over here. Liberals are furious at Biden's statement deriving activist anger over Dobbs abortion decision. Just go F yourself. The Biden administration lashed out at liberal criticism over its response to the Dobbs Supreme Court decision, and many reacted with furious anger online. Some supporters of President Joe Biden have turned into critics after what they saw as a tepid response to the court overturning the landmark Roe v. Wade decision despite having months to prepare after the draft decision was leaked. On Saturday, the administration released a statement addressing the fury. The president has been showing his deep outrage as an American and executing his bold plan, which is the product of months of hard work ever since this decision was handed down. White House Communications Director Kate Bedingfield said to The Washington Post. Kate Bedingfield, who by the way is resigning from Reposted, will be leaving the White House within the next couple of days or weeks. She continues, though Joe Biden's goal in responding to Dobbs is not to satisfy some activists who have been consistently out of step with the mainstream of the Democrat Party. She added it is to deliver help to women who are in danger and assemble a broad-based coalition to defend a woman's right to choose now, just as he assembled such a coalition to win during the 2020 campaign. So once again, Joe Biden's administration throws the activists left under a bus. This is literally the group that got him elected without the Bernie bros and the far-left AOC activist types rallying together to support this guy. He absolutely conned them after defeating Bernie Sanders, claiming that he was going to work with Bernie Sanders to merge their policy platforms together and be the most progressive president ever in American history. That's what he said. Then a couple months later, claiming I'm not a socialist, I'm not Bernie Sanders, I beat the socialist, I beat Bernie Sanders, he reels them in and then throws them overboard every single time. And to think that this time would be different would imply a serious level of naivete from the far left. He releases this statement straight up insulting the activist base, calling them out of step with the mainstream Democrat Party. He's not wrong in that, but of course, they didn't have to say that, but they did, and right before 2022, and well, it's really not working out so good for him. Just a reminder, if you've been frustrated by the administration's lack of response to Roe, that's because you are once again out of step with the mainstream of the party. So just go F yourself and remember, vote in November. This is how Democrats feel right now. They feel as if the administration is giving them a big ol' middle finger and then asking them to go vote for him. That actually might be the perfect summation of Joe Biden's first term in office, a big foo not only to the socialist wing of the Democrat Party, but frankly to every single American, followed by a "why are you so unappreciative and you should definitely vote blue come midterm election season. Democrats are furious." Jordan Zachary and writes remarkable statement from the White House defending its tepid response to abortion. By trashing the left, Katie McBride writes, maybe they've consistently been out of step with the Democrat Party because UEFS fundraised off the threads to Roe instead of codifying it. And now many of them are facing second-class citizenship at best and a death sentence at worst. This Twitter user writes they'll tell anyone who cares about this issue to go F themselves in an attempt to gain credibility with Republicans who would sooner end them and vote for them. Party that's worse than useless at everything, of being reluctant collaborators with Christian fascists. And so what exactly are we seeing here? Well, we're seeing exactly what's been predicted by basically anybody who's been paying attention over the last couple of years. Like I always say, most things in the world of politics take a long time to materialize. But this relationship that the Democrat Party has made with the extreme far-left communist revolutionary type of radicals in their base is going to be their undoing. Because you cannot expect any understanding from the far left. There's no meeting in the middle. Joe Biden's administration is right when he says that they are out of step with the Democrat Party. Frankly, they're out of step with the American public. Their views on abortion are absolutely extreme, covered in a million times. I'm not going to go into the data. You guys can watch this video if you want to be informed on the topic, but you cannot say that to the radical left. They are too fragile to unhinged. You know, most normal people you can speak to, you can criticize them. You can say, listen, I think you're wrong. I think you need to come a little bit towards my side, a little bit. I think you need to reassess your situation. If you tell that to the modern leftist Twitter bot, well, you're gonna get the same reaction every single time. They're going to screech like banshees, lose their minds, and essentially wage war on you. It's their way or the highway. There is no moderate policy. It's absolute extreme Marxist socialism garbage. It's I'm right about absolutely everything in my pseudo-intellectual half-baked takes, and everybody and everything that disagrees with me is capitalists, white, male, Christian, fascist, oppressor, I don't know, or something along those lines. None of it really makes sense. It's just a bunch of labels, a bunch of incoherent gobbledygook, muck corporations and muck Christians and white males and Macallan, ICERs and European fascism or something. I don't know. None of their ideas actually make sense. But they say them with such conviction, and they're unwilling to move not even an inch, and Democrats thought it would be a good idea to get into political marriage with them. The far left progressive base that has a stated public intention of undoing the Democrat Party, or specifically the Democrat establishment from within. Well, they've made their bed and they got to sleep in it. Both sides, the Democrats who now get lumped up with all the craziness of the far left, people say, well, all of those are just a couple of extreme people within the party. Well, you've made the mainstream, you've accepted them under your roof, under the umbrella you've brought them in. Now you got to own it. And the far left, which is constantly screeching every single day, the constant crying, the constant outcry and melting down as the Democrat establishment continues to play them, Biden managed to calm them enough to get them motivated enough to show up to vote in 2020. But in 2022, most likely in 2024, if this potato, otherwise known as potatoes, runs, again, for President of the United States as an incumbent, I don't think he's gonna get the same enthusiasm or voter turnout that he once did. In fact, not even close. Sure, there's coping, hoping vote blue no matter who left us on Twitter, who no matter what Joe does, will continue to support him. But I'd say every single day that goes by that group becomes more and more of a minority, a shrinking minority, as this whole thing, this whole Democrat Party mess continues to crumble from the inside out. Thanks for sticking around. Follow me daily. I will do my best to show you. There's a lot of information that shows what's going on. Remember where we go. 1.